My name is Marcel Lucera, and this is my partner,
Marissa Frankie. Absolutely, and our first topic is going to be about how to prepare for an audition, which I'm sure all fellow actors, or maybe if you're thinking about acting, this is going to be perfect for you because there are so many different things to cover before prepping for an audition. And yes, there is preparation when it comes to an audition, which Marcel and I, we put together really great materials to review, and we hope that what you get from this is that you will be empowered and supported when you go out and audition. And maybe if you've been auditioning, you may learn something new, maybe one or two things from what we'll share.
or reinforce your learning about preparation to audition. We actually do what we preach, and we're sharing them with you apparently. And your headshots is the first thing a person sees. And if they like you, if this is for TV and film or commercials, then they would put you in their list for those whom they want to invite. And if it's for stage, well, make sure that you look like the photo that you're submitting, because it can't be something where it looked like you years ago, unless you still look like that person from 5 years ago, if nothing much has changed. But let's say if you have a long hair at the time that you took that picture and you have a shorter hair, when you come to the audition, people will actually expect you to have that long hair and not a short hair. So it must be current, it must be something that you look like. Any thoughts on this, Melissa?
Absolutely. I mean, look, your headshot is not your dating photo, okay? Like, dating apps, like we always try to portray, maybe some people, but most people I feel try to portray something that they may not necessarily, they don't look like that. That's okay when you're dating, maybe, if you want to. But when it comes to acting, it has to reflect literally how you look at that moment right now. And Marcel brought up a really good point between commercial auditions, theatrical, and then theater. There are different ways your headshot needs to be taken, because when it comes to film, or let's say commercial, your headshot should exuberate a lot of energy. It should be very charactery, depending on the type of commercials that you want to go for. Very bright colors. What you wear and the colors that you wear, and knowing what color looks best on you is important. And definitely ask people around you too, family, friends, before you take your headshots, if a certain look that you're going for, if it actually looks well on you. Because we have one opinion, but when you ask other people's opinion, they see it differently. I would ask my family and friends, hey, do I look like a businesswoman in this headshot? Or do I look like a school student? Or, just wanting to get different opinions. So I just wanted to add that to that.
Yeah, which begs the question, what kind of photo should you be submitting, depending on what you're auditioning for. If you're submitting for a production that's somber, that calls for a serious look, then you would turn in something that looks like this, where it shows that you look serious. Or if it's in a musical or something where it's animated and you want the people to see the brighter, sunny side of you, then you turn in something like this that shows your smile. So it has to be appropriate to what you're auditioning for, and this goes to both or either stage, film, or commercial. It has to be something that looks like you, appropriate to the context by which you are submitting yourself for. And when you have your resume, make sure to attach a resume at the back of your headshot, just like this, and make sure that the resume is trimmed to cut to fit the your headshot. It should be on the back, and on your headshot it should include your name, your contact address. These are important, and if you are a member of any guilds, it's important to put those two, because then it shows that you have earned to get those credits, those associations.
And I just want to add too, with what Marcel shared, that's specifically more for theater auditions. So like he said, if you're going in for musical theater, if it's film, a lot of things are done online, and actually I wouldn't really need to bring my headshot resume because they have it from an online submission. When you do film as well, it's really good to have a bright colored background, because the intention of that, whether it's film or TV commercial, is you want to stand out when the casting director is scrolling through headshots. So having a bright colored background has you stand out. But again, like Marcel said, you want to submit something that relates to the character that you're auditioning for.
Here's what. Better yet, for your initial, venture into headshot submission, get a good photographer, a professional photographer to take a picture of you. And usually when they take a picture of you, they take several shots, it's not just one, and then you'll have a spreadsheet where you'll have a composite of all those pictures that this photographer had taken. And you could choose which one of those would look appropriate for your particular submission. Usually the photographer will have 1 or 2 photos prepared out of that composite. But it's your responsibility to keep a copy of those, and in the future auditions you could just pick from those photography sheets, so that way you could save money and make sure that it's something that looks like you, so you could save money if it still looks like you. If not, then change it and get a new one.
And for anyone who has an agent, when I typically take new headshots, I send that role to my agent and have them choose, what they would prefer for me to upload to my acting websites, because they're the ones submitting me. So yeah, I have a different opinion on what picture I'd like to choose, but I always like to get my agent's opinion, or if you have a manager as well, it's always good to check in with them.
You have to trim the edges of your headshot. So staple it on all 4 sides of the headshot, and your resume should include your name, your telephone number, and the contact person of either your manager, agent, or even yourself. Those are important features that need to be there on your resume. To be enjoying your singing, it wouldn't really matter, because the whole point is for you to be able to deliver your song with enthusiasm, integrity, and honesty.
And I just want to hit, Marcel talked about theater, and I want to go into TV film if you're an actor that maybe doesn't do theater and you do a lot of TV film stuff. When it comes to auditioning, and a lot of it is self-tape right now, but even when you're in person and they're filming you, which I tend to find in the past happening a lot, you want to have the script memorized as much as you can as possible. If you do not, it's totally fine to have the script in your hand in a way where it is a foot below your chin, and not in a direction where you can see it in camera. So if I'm holding the script, you can't see it, but I know it's down here. I have what I have memorized, but if I need to look down for maybe a word or a transition that I may have forgotten, I can look down for one moment and then look back up. Now, as far as understanding where to look when you are doing that audition, it depends. So you can play it towards camera. If you have a reader, you can look towards your reader. As long as you're in the direction of the camera, that's all that matters, because they want to be able to see your face. Less is more when you do TV film auditions, because the camera it captures everything. Camera captures all your emotions. So unlike theater, where you have to be big and projected because you're playing to an audience and many rows of seats, for film, the camera is literally from your chest up or even closer. So really the emotions are more internalized. It's a lot more in your eyes. It's a lot more in how you listen. Every little moment counts. So that's why I say less is more regarding that.
Act in front of the camera, show your emotions through your eyes. And also, to recapitulate what she has said, don't forget, it's 1 foot away from your body and 1 foot below your chin, like this. So you could actually do some cheating. Usually, standard American audition would have you sing 16 bars of ballad and 16 bars of up-tempo. And in the interest of time, if let's say a lot of people are auditioning and they're pressed for time, they would have you sing just 1 song. So between the 2 songs, choose a song that would showcase your range, whether this would be a ballad or up-tempo. Now, if you should go beyond 16 bars, make sure that you don't go beyond 26 bars. Keep it within 25. And in the end, if you're doing so good and they seem to be enjoying your singing, it wouldn't really matter, because the whole point is for you to be able to deliver your song with enthusiasm, integrity, and honesty.
And I just want to hit, Marcel talked about theater, and I want to go into TV film if you're an actor that maybe doesn't do theater and you do a lot of TV film stuff. When it comes to auditioning, and a lot of it is self-tape right now, but even when you're in person and they're filming you, which I tend to find in the past happening a lot, you want to have the script memorized as much as you can as possible. If you do not, it's totally fine to have the script in your hand in a way where it is a foot below your chin, and not in a direction where you can see it in camera. So if I'm holding the script, I mean, you can't see it, but I know it's down here. I have what I have memorized, but if I need to look down for maybe a word or a transition that I may have forgotten, I can look down for one moment and then look back up. Now, as far as understanding where to look when you are doing that audition, it depends. So you can play it towards camera. If you have a reader, you can look towards your reader. As long as you're in the direction of the camera, that's all that matters, because they want to be able to see your face. Less is more when you do TV film auditions, because the camera it captures everything. Camera captures all your emotions. So unlike theater, where you have to be big and projected because you're playing to an audience and many rows of seats, for film, the camera is literally from your chest up or even closer. So really the emotions are more internalized. It's a lot more in your eyes. It's a lot more in how you listen. Every little moment counts. So that's why I say less is more regarding that.
Act in front of the camera, show your emotions through your eyes. And also, to recapitulate what she has said, don't forget it's 1 foot away from your body and 1 foot below your chin, like this. So you could actually do some cheating. Next in line is slating. Slating is when you would introduce yourself. If it's for theater, you mention your name, the song you're singing, and where it's from, and the authors.
As well as when it comes to TV film, typically they have instructions on what they want you to slate for the audition. So it could be as simple as, hi, my name's Marissa Frankie and I'm in Los Angeles, California. Or it could be more in depth, where it's like, hi, my name's Marissa Frankie, I'm in Los Angeles, California, I'm reading for the role of Mary, and I am SAG eligible. I'm 5'3". They sometimes ask you to disclose your height. But it's completely laid out for you, and the most important thing, it's like you're having a conversation, but you do want to smile, because it's the first impression that you're giving to the casting person that's accountable to watch your video.
When you slate, don't forget to stand up straight and look straight into the camera if it's for film, or if you're for stage, make sure you talk in front of the person and smile. Don't forget to smile. This is very important. You want to be able to smile as it's recording, so when they take a snapshot and they put this on a row of those people who have auditioned for the role, they'd see a smiling face and not a grouchy face. So before and after you start, always put that smile. I know it may seem strange, but once you get used to it, then that would, it will become second nature to you.
Yeah, it looks good on camera.
Yeah, don't start like this and then smile. No, that looks awkward. It has to be like, hi, my name is Marcella Sarah, and hold that smile. Don't just drop it like this. Hi, my name is Marcella Sarah. Hi, my name is Marcella Sarah. And then just go in a natural, frowning face. No, don't do that.
I think
just
the point
be consistent.
Is have consistent energy and confidence, and then that's pretty much the two main things. As long as you have that, you're good. The other thing I want to talk about is warm up with your vocals. And now I'm talking to singers, but I'm also talking to people that are not singers. If you've never done a vocal lesson, I highly recommend it, even if you are an actor who is not so much a singer, because even when you're acting, you are using your voice. Well, we use our voice for everything. So it's important, if you have vocal warm-ups, it could easily be found on YouTube if you don't have a specific coach that you go to. If you want to maybe try a few lessons with a vocal teacher, I highly recommend that you do, because it's good to warm up your voice so that you are ready to project or you're ready to sing. It's also, your voice is a muscle, right? So especially like, for instance, when you go to a gym, you don't just get into your workout. You got to work out your muscles and warm them up before you hit, your lift or whatever it is that you're going to do. Same thing when it comes to your vocals.
I've seen a lot of people auditioning using this simple trick in their vocals. They go this way. This kind of like relaxes your lip and your tongue. It puts it in that relaxed state, so that way you're not eating your words. So that's a trick. Yeah,
lip trills, that's what that's called. And then it's important to, like he said, keep your face relaxed. Our face has muscles, right? So you always want to try to relax it, because I get it. It's tense. You get kind of tensed up before you walk into an audition, or you may be nervous. and then it affects your vocals, right? It could be like, it's like really high or screechy, and you don't want that to happen. Your body like goes with your voice, so it's important to be as relaxed and comfortable as possible.
Okay, here's what, if you don't know how you look like when you do the silly exercises, first record yourself so you could hear how you sound, and second, look in front of the mirror or, record yourself in front of your smartphone and do all this, crazy weird stuff. So that way, you stretch those muscles in your face and you look comfortable. That's how you gain confidence. Now we move on to wardrobe selection. Now this is a make it or break it. Visual presentation is important. For this matter, you have to dress presentably. Standard would have it that for men it's collared shirt and slacks, and for women it's a collared blouse and skirt or a dress. And wear comfortable shoes. Unless you choose to dress specific for your part, that is also a good point. Just knowing that you could pull it off. The whole point is to be able to have a good visual presentation that will set you apart from others. Dressing presentably would mean that you are professional because you took the time to look presentable and professional, and looking good gives you confidence, so that's a booster. So it's always helpful to dressed up when going to auditions.
Absolutely. And just to touch on shoes for women, typically when you go to a musical theater audition, I've seen a range where women wear 6-inch heels, 4-inch heels, or I've seen, typically I would suggest wear character shoes. I'm sure you have character shoes. If you do, I prefer to wear character shoes if I have to wear heels. And I would highly recommend that. If you don't have character heels, my bad, then go ahead and purchase them. You can purchase them at a dance store. You can look it up online, and it's really good to have at least a black color and a nude color, and they have different heel sizes. They range from 1-inch, 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, wherever you feel comfortable. But like Marcel said, you do want to feel comfortable when you walk in them, because the moment you walk into that room, you want to have that confidence in your stride and your posture. Now, to speak on how to have confidence, man, I've been learning how to build that confidence for years, but honestly, I took a good session with Joshua Finkel, and he mentioned to me...
And Carol...
yes.
Carol Weiss.
Carol Weiss.
Two prominent people in the, LA theater scene.
Absolutely. So one of the things that Joshua told me when I was doing a private with him is he said, before you walk into an audition, visualize how you want the audition to go. What are you dressed like? How are you going to portray yourself? What does your song sound like? How do you expect the ambiance and just the energy to be? And take a moment. It's almost like meditating, but meditate on what you just picture that perfect audition, how that looks like. And actually, it honestly works. When you think about, at least for me, when I visualize that, I'm like, wow, there's really nothing to be afraid of, because typically I'm always nervous, like, oh, I hope I don't forget anything, I don't mess up the song, or I don't forget the script, or my memorization. And when you can relax and really look at, what it will be and what you picture, your mentality is your strongest asset. So if you can work on your mentality and picturing that perfect audition, that will totally help your confidence.
So going back to the wardrobe, okay, it's usually said that it's better to wear neutral colors. Well, that's well and fine and dandy. However, I like to wear loud colors because that's just my personality, but not loud enough to where it will be so distracting. I just want to stand out a bit, so you'll see a little bit of colors in me. But neutral is pretty much standard. The beige is the blues, and for women, the florals they always work. They want to look so feminine. Unless you're auditioning for a strong, fierce character, then a stronger, vibrant color will do. And also, and this is also important for women and men, don't wear too much perfume or cologne. Keep it at a minimum, or 1 or 2 sprays. But you don't want to get into a room and have that very overbearing smell where already you put the audience to dislike you at first impression because of your smell. You don't like that. So just like going to a doctor or a dentist, right? It'll suffocate their smell. A sense of smell. So don't do that. Just keep it at a bare minimum.
So in addition to song choice selection, you have to tell a story in your song. As great as it is to just sing a song like we do in the shower or in the car, you have to be able to portray the story, especially when it comes to musical theater, because that's the whole point, is you're acting and you're singing. Now you may be wondering, well, where do I start with telling the story? I think one, you can always reference a video on like how it was originally done just to get an idea. But at the same time, I was taught to just look at the lyrics, don't listen to the music, and recite the lyrics as monologue. Because that helps you focus on the acting aspect of the song. Then once you understand who you're talking to, what your objective is, then you can incorporate the song and then, figuring out your breaths and all the other additional things when it comes to singing a song. But to understand the story, you need to act it out as a monologue.
And that's what would separate you from neophytes. If you know the story behind the song, is the emotions. Because if everybody else seems good, then what makes it or break it? It's the intention behind the song. It's how you project the songs. We may be singing the same songs, but if I put it with a lot of feelings, because I have a story in my mind, that's what's going to make me stand out from the others. Because remember, there may be other people who will sing the same songs as you are. So you got to make sure you will stand out. And how do you stand out? That's what Marisa had just said. Have a story in your song, because you need to entertain and you need to move people with emotions through singing.
I just have like a quick story to that, because when I first started, I would sing the song and I'm like, hey, I sound great, I sound pretty, thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna get casted. No, because I didn't really work on the story and what I wanted to portray. And mind you, honestly, it comes out more towards the casting, I feel like the casting table, when you have the story and you're into it and the emotions are coming out. Now maybe your vocals may not be on point, but they know you can sing and you can be a really great storyteller, which goes a long way.
For our last topic, let's talk about psychology of audition. Just what does this mean? Well, let's say you walk into a room and you notice that it's crowded and people there look good and you feel intimidated. Now, what will you bring into the table that's different? When you see people who are dressed and immediately, you talk to yourself, these are mind games that run into your mind. You would question your self-worth, your inadequacies. Forget about all that. If you have prepared for your audition, such as having a great shot, you did your vocal warm-ups, you take voice lessons. So now we've come to the end of our shoot. However, we'll see you again next time. Meanwhile, we'd like for you to leave comments and tell us what you like about what we have just done, how we may improve ourselves, because we're in the acting industry. We always need improvements and we need each other as guidance so that we could be the best version of ourselves. Remember, we're here to help each other, inspire, and we'd like to collaborate with you in the process by giving us your thoughts and also giving us your opinion on what you would like for us to discuss in our next meeting.
Absolutely.
Marisa?
And again, to disclose, this is Marcella and I's first time doing anything like this. So we do hope that you got something from it, and again, your support, feedback, however, comments is much appreciated, and we do appreciate your time for watching this today.
Since this is about entertainment in general, as broad as that is, we would, cover topics as travel, hobbies, and we will do it ourselves as part of this production. We would also like to grow as persons, so that's why we are endeavoring ourselves to try other new things, like what new foods to eat, anything that will catch your interest that you would like us to do. All right?
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.